In just a couple of hours, Vice President Harris will be speaking. Vice President Harris has already spoke. We wrapped up her rally right here on live television. We just wanted to let you know she was courting black voters in Detroit, and now we're going to check in with our Mills Hayes, who has been there live for us covering the Harris campaign. Mills, give us a rundown of what went down.
Hey, Adrienne. Well, Vice President Kamala Harris came out, and within the first 5 minutes of her being on stage, she addressed the Arab American community. And we have been reporting about the Arab American community here in Michigan, and they feel like they have been forgotten by the Democratic Party because of the Biden-Harris administration's support of Israel's war in Gaza. And so that was one of her first things that she wanted to talk about here at this rally, was that she also wanted an end to the war in Gaza as well. You guys can see those long lines of people. We saw them wrapped around the area that we are at. Lots of people out and excited to see Harris, and most of the people actually raised their hand when Harris asked them if they had already early voted. And we know in Michigan so far, there have been records broken. Just yesterday, over 147,000 people voted here in this state. But Harris talked about a lot of different things during her speech. Now, we heard her regular talking points that she does at all the other rallies, but she also really talked to Gen Z, because that is who she's talking to at this rally. This is Michigan State University, home to the Spartans, and thousands of college students live here. She is really trying to court the college student vote. She spoke about how she loves Gen Z and how she also wants to work with them on climate change. She talked to them about how they're the generation that grew up having active shooter drills, and also that they're the group that will have less rights than their mothers and grandmothers before them. The reproductive freedom, that's been a big talker for her throughout the campaign. Now, this wasn't her first stop in Michigan today. She was in Detroit earlier. She actually went to a church service, and then she went on to a small local business, and then which she actually went to a chicken and waffle restaurant that's owned by a former Detroit Lions player. And then she went on to a barber shop in a predominantly black neighborhood, because she was really trying to get out the black vote there, because we have seen her try to court those voters, and we've actually seen her support increase over the last few months. Since August, she's actually jumped up about 18 points when it comes to the support from black voters in Michigan. So in Michigan, about 13% of the voting population here is black voters, and about 84% of them say they're Team Harris. Adrienne?
All right, Mills Hayes for us live in East Lansing. It looks like the stadium where they were having that rally is almost empty, so we'll let you go. White House columnist at thehill.com, Niall Stanage, is with me right now. A lot of enthusiasm, Niall, at that event, as with all of the Harris events, a concert vibe. She mentioned the Arab community right off the top, specifically and strategically, I must say, in the area where we see the largest population of Arabs in the U.S. But I have to mention last night seeing a group of Somali Muslims in, of all places, Minnesota, the state that Ilhan Omar represents, endorsing former President Trump, saying that they do not believe that Vice President Harris can actually bring peace to the Middle East. But to Vice President Kamala Harris's credit, she did say that she would work to end the fighting in Gaza, continue to work on a peaceful solution between Israel and all of their enemies, but didn't mention the war in Ukraine, despite the billions invested there. So I'm giving you all of the rundown so that you can maybe address what are the pros and cons of Vice President Harris mentioning all of this in Michigan.
Well, the pros you've already alluded to, which is the fact that there's a significant Arab American population in Michigan, numbering over 200,000 people. A lot of that community is understandably outraged by what has happened in Gaza and what is more recently happening in Lebanon. Those things have happened with the support of the Biden-Harris administration, and therein lies the problem for the vice president. She is now trying to show a more sympathetic tone, I would say, to the Arab American community. And she talked in this speech this evening about the Palestinian rights to self-determination and freedom and security. But do people believe them? believe her? That's the question, really. And of course, the anger in that community in particular has left some room for former President Trump to work with. Some people don't support him because of things that he did during his presidency. He, in turn, has been making an appeal to that group, saying that they only want peace.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find News Nation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of News Nation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.